Profanity Nation.
Yeah, it's the new era of man for some old school fans with a new school brand. We got money on the mic with the plan in hand. And Stat Pat to his left, they go hand in hand. And to the right, we got Simpster, he putting it down. It's the Profanity Nation, we running the town, yeah.
It's the Profanity Nation.
Profanity Nation.
Hey, welcome to the Profanity Nation podcast, where we are the voice of the professional fan. As you can see, we are in studio, but we are short. One of our co-hosts, Stat Pat, will not be with us this week. He is enjoying some time with his family still from the holidays, so please enjoy. Lucky man. Enjoy that, Stat Pat. But as usual, I am joined here by my co-host, Money Mike. How you feeling, my man?
Man, new year, made it through. Let's do it. Let's see what this year got for us.
Okay, so it is everybody knows, it's New Year's, it's 2022. 2021 is in the books, closed. That's history, and I think that if anyone needed this opportunity to start anew and maybe get a fresh start and to set some resolutions and to set some changes and maybe even shed some weight, might be the Los Angeles Lakers. Money Mike. Los Angeles Lakers themselves, they still have not done good since Christmas. They've lost more games. They did win against Portland, but Portland has not done much this season.
Yeah.
So not too much to worry about. And that was a New Year's Eve game. And so you got a visiting team on New Year's Eve. I mean, come on. But the state of the Lakers is still not great. That's for sure.
And they're making moves that I don't understand.
Okay, what are the moves that are going on? Let's talk about those.
Well, first of all, we traded Rondo.
Rondo's gone.
Rondo went to Cleveland for nothing. I mean, I guess money consideration, whatever.
For an open roster spot.
But, like, I don't understand. Like, I actually liked Rondo on this team. I know earlier this year when me and we were at the Laker game together, he was the only one that was making sure that people were actually setting pits. And
running an actual offense.
And running an offense.
Yeah, they were actually running through. Other than that, everybody's around the 3-point line.
Right. So I don't understand that move at all. Like, unless, Rondo kind of was like, I'm tired of this, or they were having, I haven't heard anything, but, maybe that's what the case is. I don't understand why.
Just for cash considerations, it would seem like they could waive maybe a Bazemore or just about anybody to make room for that roster spot, but they decided to get rid of Rondo, which is strange.
DeAndre Jordan.
It's just about anybody.
It's a lot of people. Like, I think.
Does this lead us to believe that there's a master plan somewhere? That there is something else that maybe is in the works, or are they just prepping?
I don't know, because here's the thing. How much was he? I think he was getting almost $10 million, right? So,
we got him for he did a buyout, so I think we got him for the men.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't a trade.
Yeah,
it was. That means it wasn't that much at all. So
no,
I don't.
It's a roster spot. It's not the cash. It's not the luxury.
But that's the whole thing, though. Why Rondo for a roster spot? That's why it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. So there has to be another move, another shoe going to drop. Maybe hopefully a few shoes are going to drop. That's going to change some things, because this is just pretty sad. Now normally, Money, you're pretty animated and you're out there. I can tell that you're actually kind of down about this team. Like I think I'm actually seeing the hope dwindle in your eye. Is that what we're hearing in your voice? I mean, I can actually tell that you're subdued about the Lakers here.
I'm always rocking with the Lakers. I always want them to win, but also there is a sense of reality that we kind of have to understand where we are. We're close to almost 40 games. I think we at 38. We're still under 500 or right around 500. LeBron, I'm usually the biggest critic to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, get on LeBron because LeBron looks like he's doing everything that he can.
He doesn't have a squad.
But this is the squad that he put together. So,
he didn't put together all the role players. Let's just get that straight. Okay.
All the major ones.
Davis was there. Good call. Got us the title. So be it. Westbrook, yes. Now,
Carmelo, yes.
Carmelo's playing well.
Yeah.
Usually he's probably our most consistent player.
Yeah, but we only reason why Carmelo really is on the team is for offensive purposes. It's never for defenses.
All right, and we need that too. We need everything all around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
But,
so I have a question for you. Okay, if you were going to make a New Year's resolution for the Lakers, you had one resolution. You were a genie bus, and you're going to go ahead and set your New Year's resolution. It has to be reasonable, not just pie in the sky. What's your New Year's resolution that you actually think can be done, and just what would you do with this team?
Man, at this point, because see, the problem is if you decide to try to blow up the team in the middle of the season, whatever chemistry you have, you destroy that.
There's none right now, so I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, but
everybody who's watching out there, we can see you online. Please go ahead and fill in the chats here. Big Baby, we see you. Thank you for joining us as usual. But go ahead and put in there what would be the Lakers if you were a genie bus or the owner of the Lakers? What would be your New Year's resolution? What realistic New Year's resolution would you make? Go ahead and put it in there, and we'll go ahead and post it online.
Maybe the coaching. I'm gonna tell you, like, we didn't do any much better with Vogel not being there, but I felt better with
Fizdale.
with Fizdale there.
Well, just because you saw something different.
I felt he actually
Just
was using the clipboard and actually was trying to run plays, and I felt like he was way more animated, and the results didn't reflect that, but maybe we could give him a whole nother week or something. But maybe that would probably be the first thing if you're forcing me to say something.
Okay, I agree with the coaching, and right before we went live, or at least got into the studio here, we were watching. Okay, and right as they were going into halftime, we're watching the Laker game, and right as they were going into halftime, I saw a little interaction between Phil Handy and LeBron.
Right?
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I don't know what they were yelling about.
I don't care.
LeBron didn't like it.
I don't care. I like that he stood up to him. Not that LeBron stood up, and Handy is willing to say he held his ground. Why isn't he the next head coach? Does he not have offensive skill? He definitely has the respect of these players.
I mean, he does, but at the same, there's a reason. I like Phil Handy. I like everything that he does. I love how he brings, everybody together. It seems like it, but there's a reason why he's not getting a chance.
Do you think he's not getting a chance, or maybe he doesn't want it? I've never heard him necessarily say he wants to be.
Yeah, everybody loves him, so
I would if Vogel was released from his position, that's the person I'd want to see. If anyone on this squad is going to get pushed up to interim coach and then get a shot, Handy would be the only guy.
Yeah, well, I'll be definitely 100% willing to try it.
All right, awesome.
Right now, Lakers are up by 4, 102-98.
Okay.
So let's see if they're going to be able to go ahead and pull this out.
Up by 2.
Oh.
That went quick.
Yeah,
okay. I'd like to make. Is everybody there on Clubhouse? They're joining us there. I have a question for everybody there on Clubhouse, and I want you to get your answers ready. Okay, as you're watching the Lakers, but listening to the Profanity Nation, which is really the only way to go when a game's on in the Profanity Nation's live.
Right.
We appreciate that. Thank you. I'd like to know if you could bring back one Lakers role player. Not a superstar, but one Lakers role player from any Lakers era to help this squad. Who would it be? Just one. And it can't be a
question.
That is, right? I want a role player from any team, any Lakers era. Has to be a former Laker. Who are you putting on this team to help right the ship? I'd like to see if anybody. We have a blinking mic.
Blink your mic if you have an answer for that.
There we go.
Crispy, let me hear you. Who you bringing on the team?
Oh man, it's easy for me. I'm getting Lamar Odom right now.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm rocking with that.
All right, the Candy Man. All right.
Yeah.
But Crispy, Lamar Odom was the definition of inconsistent. He was the only thing that was consistent about Lamar Odom, and I loved his game when he played hard and he showed up. A lot of games he didn't. The only thing that was consistent is you knew at least one time per game he was going to get an absolutely ridiculous charging call. Because he would make up his mind and go right into the basket. But I do like his game, but he was inconsistent. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I definitely agree with you. It's inconsistent, but it's just his energy level. He brought that certain energy to the game that I think we are lacking right now with this team that we have.
Gotcha. Is there anyone who would disagree or think that anybody else might be better from the Lakers era? Mike, are you still thinking on your answer there?
No, I have an answer.
You do?
I have
Okay,
an
let's
answer.
go. Let's go.
You know what? You know who I love to have come back?
Who's that?
Robert Horry.
Wow. Okay.
Robert
Okay. So
Horry.
an in shape prime Robert Horry.
In shape prime Robert Horry, because he always was at the right place at the right time. You know,
Okay.
and you know, you don't have to run any plays for him.
I like it.
He could play
I like it.
some
Yeah, you
defense.
never had to call his number.
Yeah.
Ever, but he was always there,
Right.
right?
And look, it's a close game. You know, I know he could make that shot. I've seen him do it. You know, Big Shot Bobby was doing it. You know, we saw him do it for us, but he was doing it.
Oh.
He was doing it when he was with San Antonio
Houston.
and Houston also.
Yeah, so
So,
he didn't earn that nickname
Right.
playing for the Lakers.
Yeah,
He
but
just solidified it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, if I'm bringing a role player back, you know, that a guy that I know I can depend on, outside of a superstar, is
Yep.
definitely is Robert Horry.
All right. If I have a say in this one, you know what I'm going to go with, and we're obviously still sticking with players that we know. We're not going back to players that played with the Jerry West and so forth. But I really think that a prime Derek Fisher could help right this ship.
Mm.
You know, I'd like to see. Now I know he didn't necessarily succeed outside the triangle without Kobe, but I think that he could keep the ship right, and he was never going to get rocked or faded in the game.
This is why I disagree with that. He gave a whole lot of opposing guards contracts. Like, who was that guy from? Oh my gosh, he played for actually Minnesota, for example. He was getting torched, you know. With oh my god, I can't think of his name. That in the playoff, it's gonna come to me.
All right,
But it was a whole lot of guards. Like, you know, when they were fast, he didn't play great defense. You know, and that's what we. You know, I mean, Westbrook is not playing great defense. None of these guards are.
Well,
playing
none
great
of them
defense.
are playing great defense.
So that's why I wouldn't bring there. I mean, for offense, him making a shot, yeah, that's good. But yeah, I saw too many cards torch Derek Fisher. You know,
okay.
Blink your mic if you guys have somebody.
Blink your mic if you're on there. There we go.
Ivan, let's hear from you.
I'm gonna have to go to honorable mention Meta World Peace for his dog and fight, man.
Oh, okay.
I love it. And he did hit the three. Kobe passed it to him.
Yeah, you know what? And he plays defense.
Oh, well, that's the
Yeah.
main, yeah.
Right. And you know,
Rebounding.
and yeah, he played defense, he rebounded. Yeah, that's a great pick. I love that pick because, you know, with him, he actually gets in people's heads. You know,
He also, you know why I like that pick? Who was that who said that?
that was Ivan.
Ivan. You know why I like that pick? I like that pick because he sparks the team, but from a defensive side. So he will give the team a spark and an energy that they need, but from the defensive side instead of, I hit a three, so forth. So I like that pick as well. I do. I like that. So now he wasn't with the team that long, but long enough.
But he made an impact.
He made an impact, and he's calling games again. You see him?
Yeah.
I know he's been busy.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, you gotta love Meta.
Yeah,
you know, he when he gets in the zone, you know, he definitely was intense. I love that. He's definitely an energy guy. People go right off of that.
Again,
I think that's probably the best pick.
Yeah, that might be the best pick over there.
Yeah.
I would have to say because we definitely need the defense. Where do we stand here? It looks like the Lakers are pulling ahead. That's a good thing. Okay, so with the Lakers now, let's just move away for a second and let's touch base because we have to touch base on our other LA teams that are here. The NFL is winding up, Mr. Money Mike, and winding down, and they're heading into the playoffs. We have one more week of football, regular season football, and then they go into playoffs, and the Rams are in good shape. And please explain to our listeners what the Chargers playoff situation is going into their final game, please.
Well, you know, they play. I'm a Raider fan too, so this is very interesting. You know, live in LA, but you know, hey, look, the Raiders were in LA, you know, way longer than the Chargers were. But they basically, that's going to be a great game next week. The Chargers went ahead and won today. If they would have won last week against a horrible Texans team, then they would have actually probably already been in and not have to depend on next week.
Got already.
But because everybody that was supposed to lose
Won.
lost.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Baltimore lost.
Yeah.
The Rams took care of them,
Yes, they did.
and I forgot the other team that lost too.
Okay,
But anyway, basically,
they helped them.
it's all about next week and next Sunday. It's the Raiders and the Chargers. It's in Las Vegas, and whoever comes out in that game is actually going to be able to make the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Neither one of them are good enough to make the Super Bowl. So, I'm a person, and even going back to like the Lakers, if we're gonna go and just make the playoffs but not perform and make the finals and possibly have opportunity to win championship, it doesn't matter. The Chargers are a good team, but there's so many other teams out there that are better. Both sides of the ball.
But isn't football of all sports? It's winner take all, one game. Basketball, you got to beat them in a 7-game series, but any team can get hot and go on a streak and at the right time and with a little bit of luck, injury, whatever the situation may be, it can happen, right? It's more likely in NFL sport or football than it would be in a baseball or basketball.
It definitely is more likely in NFL.
And I think the Charger fans would think so.
Yeah, I've seen wild cards, definitely hit that hot streak and make it all the way over to Super Bowl. But man, you got KC in there, you got the Cowboys in there, you got Arizona in there, it's a whole.
They don't have to face every one of those.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is though, you have a whole lot of teams that are just as hot.
Okay.
But we can see. I'm not hating on the Chargers.
You knew it.
But I just don't think that that this is not their year. Anybody have any opinions about the
NFL? Who do they think's going to the Super Bowl and so forth? Now the Rams, as we're waiting for people to chime in. Now the Rams themselves, they've been playing well, correct? So they've already punched their ticket in. Is that right?
Yeah, but they still, if they win next week, then they get the first place
home court.
Yeah. Well, I think they're still going to get home court. Well, it depends on what happens next week, but they're definitely in the playoffs. But then they can have home court all the way through. But we'll see what they're going to do.
Let me ask you this. Now, football, there was no NFL football in Los Angeles for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have 2 teams. What do you think? They're both competitive. They're both competing. You can't have 2 of the best teams. Maybe you can, but they're competing. They're competitive. They're both there in the fight in the last game of the season. Rams already punched their ticket, but may be able to get a little better seating. What do you think? I would say it's a success. I would say that moving to Los Angeles has been a success.
Money wise, yeah. SoFi Stadium Super Bowl is going to be here. For the market. What's really interesting about football, because football wasn't here for so long, that especially from the Chargers perspective, Chargers just doesn't really have a fan base. They have a decent team.
But what's so weird about that is they tailgate incredibly well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The 20 fans that they have. Yeah. They get it.
They have more than that. I've been to the tailgates, they tailgate. They get
it cracking. But when the 49ers come in town, when the Raiders come in town, when Pittsburgh come in town, they can't compete with those fans. I went to the Charger KC game. It was 50-50. Everybody.
That's not bad for the Chargers.
Yeah, and really, honestly, that's not bad.
That's the truth, yeah.
Even today, I was down there at the tailgate, for our new streaming channel that we'll tell you guys a little later on about. And it probably was about 60-40 Chargers today. They played Denver. But yeah, it's really tough to go ahead and, penetrate, this LA market when you're just you have to be a championship caliber team.
I think they've done great.
Yeah.
I really do. I think they've done a great job. I'm actually really surprised that the Chargers are relevant. I thought that they were going to kind of just disappear and take the Clippers path of the first Sterling years.
They're still the Clippers path.
Until they win, but they're competing. They're not the Sterling Clippers.
They're still Clippers.
Okay, I give you that.
They did go. The only difference between the Chargers and Clippers really, they went to the Super Bowl in 1973, 74 around that time.
At this point,
but they didn't
the Chargers have a fresh slate, and they have not pulled the Clipper stupidity over the years of losing all these playoff 3-1, up 3-1, up losing,
It
coming
doesn't
back.
matter. They still lost.
But not in LA. Not in
Okay.
LA. You're talking San Diego,
All right,
so
San
it's
Diego,
fresh.
okay.
So it's a fresh start.
Well,
guys.
okay, cool. So we're talking about that.
It's a fresh start. Okay, but I think it's exciting. Now, you got wind of a special event. Are you allowed to talk about your little Super Bowl thing a little bit?
Yeah. So I gotta, so I have.
You have a
friends-
secret friend.
Yeah, I have a secret friend came to me and told me, "Hey, man, how would you like to set up the Super Bowl stage for the halftime show, and they're gonna pay me.
Be part of the crew.
I'll be part of the crew. They're gonna pay me minimum wage to go in there, and and right now, minimum wage is not that bad, man.
It's true. That's not what-
$15, minimum wage
Yeah.
when I was 20 was like $5.10 an
show. It
hour.
was $3.35 my first show.
Well, yeah.
So let's not go there.
So yeah, I'm actually going to get paid to go to the Super Bowl, and that's going to and watch.
Watch who?
Dr. Dre and all the, West Coast Snoop. Probably Jay-Z may be there.
Dude, everybody.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Eminem.
I'm excited to be
Mary
able to
J.
go down there, and I got a job. I'm gonna be at SoFi.
Money Mike is making money.
setting up the stage for the halftime show. So I'm kind of excited about that. It's gonna be a really good experience for me.
Yeah, that is really cool. That
Yeah.
sounds really cool.
Yeah.
What goes into that? Did you just show up on Super Bowl day and you're
No,
ready?
you
Okay.
you actually have to commit. You have to commit to
a few days before
probably about 2 weeks worth. Like 4 or 5 hour shifts in the evening. So, but yeah, I'm willing to do that. I would have done that for free, to be honest.
you live local, so you're
I live
okay.
local. Yeah,
Yeah, so
I
but to
would-
get into the Super Bowl, so you get to watch the game,
yeah,
you help out at halftime,
Yeah.
and then you get to watch the rest of the game.
yeah. I think it's amazing. It's gonna be great. I don't care.
Right, I don't blame you.
I don't care who's playing.
Yeah,
You know?
you're like, I don't care who
Yeah.
makes it there. I'm going. You're going either way. So
Yeah.
that is incredible. That's
So-
an incredible opportunity.
So are the Lakers gonna win this game?
The Lakers are. What is that score right there?
Look like we have 108, 103, 14 seconds left.
Okay, then I'm gonna say it's in the fridge.
Yeah, it's in
I'm
the
gonna
fridge.
say it's in the fridge. This
That's
one is
amazing. Well, it's like, one thing we're going to do, we are the sponsor, the Los Angeles Lakers Fan Club.
good. Oh, wonderful. That's
Yeah.
right.
So we're going to go ahead. If you guys give us a follow, follow the Profanity Nation. This is true for this room as well as I know there's another room on the fan club there. If everybody gives us a follow,
The
we'll
live
select-
game room.
Yeah, I know there's a live game room. We'll pick one follow over there. Let them know. We'll send them a Profanity Nation shirt, and for this win.
Boom. All right.
Yeah. So if you're not following us, theprofanitynation.com. I'm sorry, at the Profanity Nation.
The Profanity Nation on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. If you're already following us on Instagram, all you got to do, hop on there right now. Go onto your Instagram app, go ahead and find the Profanity Nation, and just send us a DM and say, hey, man, I want my shirt. If you just send that, we're going to go ahead and enter you in, and you may win a Profanity Nation shirt and maybe even some other goodies. A lot of times we'll throw in other surprises in
It
those
would-
prize packs.
Would also help you if you tag a couple people also.
That would help us. Yeah, definitely. And if I'm actually going to put this out there, okay, if you listen to podcasts, or if you're listening to the Profanity Nation right now on podcasts, you use Apple Podcasts, we are going to ask you to please go online and leave us a review. We have a 5-star rating already. We'd like to maintain that, but more reviews, the better. Please tell everybody how great the Profanity Nation is and how much you want everybody else to listen to it and how you just can't miss a single episode of the Profanity Nation. Please go on to Apple Podcasts and go ahead and leave us a review. If you do, tell me, go ahead and send us a DM to the Instagram. I'll see it, and we may even buy you a shirt. Is that we're buying reviews? I don't care. They're listening to our show.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Hey,
All right. We may send you a shirt.
Hey, I'll give you all a shirt if you guys give us a review.
That's good.
And be honest, we want to get better, especially in the new year. So look,
I mean, we know
So-
we're the best, but you guys
Yeah.
can be honest and tell us that.
all right. So let's go. Look. So yesterday was New Year's.
Yes.
This is the first game of the New Year's.
Yep.
Lakers won.
Yep.
So hey,
So they ended the year
winning.
a blowout win against Portland,
Right.
and started the year a tight win, but a win nonetheless against the Wolves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have two games in a row. One ending the year, which is a good thing because you always want to end the year
Yep.
on a positive note. and we're starting the year on a positive note. Now, our next 5 games are, we got the Kings, the Hawks, the Grizzlies, and then the Kings, then the Nuggets. So that takes us all the way up to the 15th.
God, it's just so hard.
Yeah. So
My gut tells me 5-0.
5-0.
It tells me what they should be doing.
But let's be realistic. We'll go to Clubhouse
3-2. I'm going 3-2.
We'll go to Clubhouse. Let's see.
Yeah.
We got the Kings, the Hawks, the Grizzly,
And the King.
the Kings, and then I'll throw the Nuggets.
That's the next 5. Okay, go ahead and blink your mic on there from
Blink your
Clubhouse.
mic. So
Let us know what you think the Lakers are going to do in the next 5. And while we're waiting, here we go. We got some.
okay, Shay, our girl Shay, how you doing?
There you go.
Shay?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Shay.
Yeah, so back-to-back wins. I'm excited about that, and I agree. 5-0 for us.
We're gonna be 5-0. Okay. All right.
No, wait. I don't want to just take that. Hang on. Why do you think 5-0? You're not just hopeful, right? You actually think this is possible with this team against the squad that they're going to be playing, right?
I mean, tonight was there were times that were frustrating. I was like screaming at the TV where like, why is Frank Vogel not putting in our centers and stuff? We got out rebounded tonight. Definitely he wasn't adjusting, to the plays today. And I believe it's going to be 5-0 because we are playing under 500 teams.
Exactly. I like that, Shay. Anybody else in Clubhouse? Did I see another mic there?
Yeah, blink your mic if you guys have another comment.
Okay.
But Shay, for the record, Shay will have us at 23-19 if that's the case by January 15th. And
so that's All-Star break, right?
That will be All-Star break, and that is 42 games. Right,
just past halfway.
Just one game past halfway. Lakers will be 23-19 according to Shay. So is that
No.
reasonable?
Well, it's hopeful.
It's hopeful?
Certainly freaking hopeful. Yeah. I mean, we you know what that's going to do though is that's going to put. Hopefully the Lakers are smarter than that, because what that is that's fool's gold right there. That's not Lakers gold. That's fool's gold. So what that is that's a squad that finally stepped up because they're in a contract year that they don't want to get traded by the All-Star break. So will they maintain that pass? Is everyone just elevating their game because they don't want to get traded just like a player does in a contract year?
Here's the thing. I don't think there's really going to be any type of major trade because I don't think there's no other team that's going to want to help us out. So, and I mean, unless, really like what trade
probably the only big player that could happen would be Ben Simmons. Now, I don't know if he's a team changing player. He's obviously going to change the culture a little bit. Westbrook would be gone, but the problem is that Westbrook's been he hasn't been as bad.
How many turnovers did he have? Last time I looked, Westbrook had 7 turnovers.
He is a turnover machine, and the turnovers themselves are ugly turnovers.
Yeah.
They're off his foot. They're off his knee. They're ugly.
He's still jumping in.
Go ahead and blink your mics, you guys. Do we have somebody who wants to say something over there? Go ahead and blink your mics on Clubhouse if you got something to say. See, I think that's fool's gold if we get into near the All-Star game and they've won 5 in a row. I just think at that point we're thinking something ain't right. Go ahead, Money.
All right, Charles. Let me hear from you.
I was gonna say with Westbrook, there aren't any Westbrook trades on the table, so we stuck with him for the season, whether we like it or not. So people just get that out of their mind. Quit harping on that. Russell Westbrook is not going anywhere because nobody's going to trade for him in that contract.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he definitely has a max contract.
You know what? I would say that I would say that common sense tells you that, but somehow, some way, the Lakers always find a way to get out from under up and over.
When we was off air, I was asking you. I said, Westbrook? And I didn't watch him every day. Obviously, I watch him.
Yeah.
I watch him every day now, and I'm like, God, this guy. And these turnovers, like, what is he doing? But it seemed like he was balling and getting triple doubles and all the publicity about him when he was on. OKC, not so much Houston, but when he was on OKC, it was all pretty much like positive.
Yeah, but we were on this side of it, and all you hear is the good highlights. But I'm sure everybody else was. Right. Look, his teammates didn't want to stick around.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know. That definitely is the case.
If you look at it, the teammates didn't stick around, and they never complained about him personally. You never heard anyone complain about Russ personally, like playing with him. I can't play with him personally. Everyone kept really quiet, but they left.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just really interesting, man, because the advertisement of Russell. Maybe something happened. I see Charles, you bring in your mind. You have another comment on that, but the advertising of Russ, man, like before he actually came on our team, he was amazing.
You know what? So you bring up a point that I wanted to talk about really quick, and you hit the key word: the advertising of Russ. I have a question for you. Okay, and who are we talking about?
That's Charles.
All right, Charles, hold tight real quick. Okay, I have a question for you. The shoe business, the sneaker business is huge. I understand it. The success of a sneaker has something to do with how successful the player is, but not just how successful of a career, but how successful they're doing at that specific time, unless they're a Michael Jordan or a Kobe. Nobody else has retired shoes. Russell Westbrook is releasing a new shoe in March. Is that the right time for him to be doing this? And does it matter? I actually have that question. Does marketing come in? Are they looking at the team, obviously wishing he was doing better? Would you hold back the shoe until he was in a better spot? Or does that matter? Do you think that'll affect the sales? I'm really curious.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be waiting in line for it. But Charles, go ahead.
As far as that, I was saying, as far as sneakerheads go, most of them don't really pay that much attention to the game, who's winning, who's losing anyway. But as far as Russ, it was somebody said, like, people left OKC, everybody did. The only person left OKC was KD, and he also left Golden State too, so I don't know if that means anything.
PG. Paul George.
PG got traded.
He asked for that trade.
But PG asked to be traded.
The year after he said, "I'm here for good," he said, "I'm gone for good." He asked for that trade.
So I mean, but let me ask you, Charles. To your point, PG was it he preferred to play with Kawhi versus Westbrook? What do you think on that?
Well, I don't know. Like, he wanted to go to Clippers with Kawhi because he's an LA guy and he, quote unquote, grew up with Clippers fan, which I don't believe, but that's another story. But like, yeah, that was the whole Kawhi moving those muscles, like, and PG just went along with it.
Mm.
Yeah, and I want to kind of jump in there. I think Shannon Sharp hit on the mark. Russell Westbrook's the guy. It's the girl that you're like, wow, man, she's so beautiful. And then once you get her, you're like, damn. No wonder why Jimmy, Jack, and Joe broke up with her. I see it now. Like, that's when you watch it from the outside, you're like, man, remember when you were in high school, that girl that everybody wanted to date, and then your boys are like, oh no, she's an a-hole.
Yeah,
like,
she said this or that. You know what? That's funny.
Yeah,
I walked into a restaurant once, and painted on the bathroom wall in the men's restroom was, "No matter how good she looks to you, some other dude is tired of taking her shit." It was just hilarious. And it was so true. It's just so true. And that's the same way the other way, by the way, guys. The girls are tired of our shit too. But it's just hilarious because no matter how good she looks to you, it's the truth until you have a player on your team. You really don't know what you're going to get.
And as far as the PG thing, like, people try to make a big deal because he didn't sign the Lakers to play with Kobe either. So PG is a weird guy anyway.
Yeah, we got that. I think PG doesn't really like that limelight. Like, because you see, when you take that limelight, when you have the limelight, you got to take that criticism also. And he really, we saw when he wasn't playing well, man, and he got ate up, and he didn't really take that very well.
I'm actually going to say, and I'm going to contradict that.
What?
Well, look how well he's playing right now. He really was playing well this season.
Well, yeah.
After all that heat, he's playing really well this season, and that's hard for me to say because I hate the Clippers, and I really don't like Paul George. The reason why I don't like Paul George is because he snubbed the Lakers even for a meeting. even for a meeting, and they decided to stay at OKC. So I don't like players who snub the Lakers.
Yeah, but
I don't like LaMarcus Aldridge. He snubbed the Lakers years ago.
But see, look, my thing about that is like, okay, if you don't want to come, if you don't want to be part of this history, then we don't need you.
I agree. I agree.
But I don't get my feelings. Like if I call you up and you don't want to take this deal, that's your bad.
If you want to take the deal with the meeting, dude.
I mean, okay, cool.
Aldridge ripped us up, but he was honest. I guess
we're gonna give it to somebody who won it.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like,
and someone who can handle it, right?
So if his aspirations to play in LA and be a Clipper, hey, have at it. Go do what you do. Go ahead and
have fun over there because you're not going to change the Clipper culture.
Be Danny Manning. The Clipper that made the All-Star team, and I'm good with that. I don't want anybody that don't want to be a part of us.
Happy New Year, Donovan. Yeah. Thank you very much. Donovan Duncan saying Happy New Year to us and to everybody out there in the Profanity Nation culture world everywhere. Okay, so we're really hoping that when are you jumping ship? As a legitimate,
well, first of all, let me
educated fan.
What do you mean by jumping ship?
Do you jump ship and say, okay, they're not going to make it. We just need to start looking for next season, shut LeBron down, or whatever it is? When do you just say, okay, throw up the white flag?
Well, let me just say for the record. For the record, I'm never going to jump ship.
I like that.
From being a Laker fan.
No, of course not.
I am always going to go and root for the Lakers. But I do need us to get 30 wins before we get 25 losses.
Okay.
And I don't know if that is possible. Is there anybody on here think that we could get 30 wins before 25 losses?
Do you think we can do that, Clubhouse?
Go ahead, blink your mic.
There
Charles.
we go.
I do definitely, and like I said, I'm with it until we mathematically eliminate it, because despite all the troubles, at the end of the day, I feel like a healthy LeBron and AD, I'll take that in a 7-game series against anybody, period.
Okay, so let's just take with that assumption. Then we're taking chemistry and saying that pure talent will rise over any chemistry issues, because this squad has been injury riddled all season, which isn't a surprise for the oldest squad in the league. So they won't have that chemistry, that's for sure. But you're saying that the talent of LeBron and AD, healthy, ready to go, will supersede that.
I will put my money on that.
All right, who else chimed in?
I gotta disagree with that. First of all, LeBron James is not the LeBron James of old. I mean, he can win you a playing game. He can win you if they're in the 7 to 10 seed, LeBron James can win you 2 games to get you in the play. What he's not gonna do, he's not gonna by himself take down the Suns, the Warriors, or the Jazz. I mean, the Lakers only
didn't say by himself. I said healthy LeBron and AD.
Yeah, but AD has been a no-show, so until
AD
I see
is the
him
beta.
showing up, but he's a no-show right now. So we can't. You got to go with what you have. What you know is LeBron James can give you 40, 50 points at every given night. Russell Westbrook will give you like 15 and 10. You hope he don't turn the ball over. AD's like, okay, we don't know what's going to happen with AD. We're being honest. AD is like, he may not be healthy. I mean, let's just be real. So if you look at what they have and what they've been proven, you got to update your resume, right? What have you done this year? This year, you guys don't have no chemistry. You look at the Warriors, you look at the Suns, you look at the Nets. Those guys fit together. Like James Harden can play off the ball. James Harden can play with the ball. And Kevin Durant can play in, right? Almost been about LeBron James.
I think you're in the blender,
so
bro.
Unless you get
yeah, you were bringing up a little, Emmanuel, but I think you were just saying that that if the other players are there, we're healthy, that we should be able to beat them. I think that's what you were trying to say.
No, what I'm saying is that like they'll get to the playoffs. I don't think they can win a series as the way they're playing right now.
Yeah,
I don't think LeBron Rodgers can do it for 7 games.
I agree.
He can't give you 40, 50. Because right now, Yeah.
This is not
Well,
the
they need
LeBron.
to give you
This is
20.
this is not the LeBron that carried the Cavs and carried those Cavs teams. He just can't do it. He just can't do it. He can't put it on, even though he's been playing an incredible stretch, but it has not been resulting in wins.
Well, so look.
And I mean, and I'm sorry because you're a
everybody-
LeBron fan, and I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Well,
He's been winning lately.
You're right. You're right. But it's not because he's playing better. It's because the squad's playing better. I just don't know that there's any more LeBron can do to help this team if the team doesn't help itself. Back in the day, LeBron could kind of will a team. Just take him, put him on his back. That's what you expected from LeBron because you've seen it. Because you've seen it, Money. You didn't see it necessarily on this
Will you
league.
stop? Will you stop?
All right, go ahead.
Listen, Mr. Simpson over here is kind of poking the bear. LeBron, I think he's playing well at the moment. He's doing everything that he can. I'm not a person that have said that I've seen LeBron take a team on his back and to the promised land and to win the championship. That's why Simpson is poking the bear a little bit. But to his point, definitely LeBron is playing really, really good basketball right now. I think definitely there need to be other players that need to be way more consistent. We're saying the same thing all the time. Westbrook needs to cut down on his turnovers. We need bubble Anthony Davis. If we have bubble Anthony Davis, then we could definitely win the championship. But if we don't get bubble Anthony Davis, like he needs to have no more injuries. He's already, when he comes back, he needs to be at full strength. And we need bubble Anthony Davis, and I think we can make a run for the playoffs.
All right, we have online watching the show, Donovan Duncan. He says it's time to find teams that can trade with, get some picks, and start building for the future. That would be basically giving up on LeBron, isn't it? I mean, the years you have left with him, that's for sure. We can't give up on LeBron. I mean, even I. But that would be right.
I mean, that kind of would. But see, what I don't like is though, and I said this. I've been saying this all year. Is why did we blow up a team last year that was a championship caliber team? And the only reason why we did not win was because of injuries. So I didn't understand all these moves. The Westbrook move, the Carmelo move, all these things that we did, because we were supposed to have a championship team prior to, this, going into this year. It was just all about injuries. Yeah. So now we have all these superstar players, and we're not. I think we're actually worse. than
we are worse.
Than what
we have less hope. I mean, I just the strange thing to me is it just really felt like everybody and usually the talking heads, the Stephen A. Smiths. I got to say, sometimes they get stuff right, but most of the time they get it wrong. They're just spitting out spew. But everybody was like, I don't see this Westbrook trade. I don't see this. Why did they do this? I don't see it.
Right, and what I said in the beginning of that is, look, Westbrook could work as long as they don't have them Westbrook play at the same time as LeBron, because the only way Westbrook could be effective is if he has the ball, right? But LeBron is an on-ball person too, and there's only one ball on the court. But look, I think my whole point to this is when you build a team, you have to build a team to what you need. If you need shooting, you need defense. Stop going off. And I hate it. I hate that people go after all these superstar, names and stuff. I mean, look, going back, just as an example this year, right? There's a guy named Jonathan Taylor, right? Plays for the Colts, right? He has the most rushing yards in the NFL right now, right? I guarantee nobody picked him number one. Everybody got the guy from Dalvin Cook and who's the other guy from the Titans? He got hurt, Henry. You know, everybody got him. Nobody,
Your player.
my player, right? But nobody, Jonathan Taylor is the one been balling out of everybody else, right? So, but nobody picked him number one and number two, but he's the player that within that offense has performed the best. And I think what we need to do is stop just trying to get players who have these big, huge names and actually put together a team that works.
I think that's the part of it that makes the least amount of sense. We already had the big names. And every team, especially the Lakers, make that big splash. They made it with LeBron. They didn't need to do it with Westbrook was never going to overshadow or be a big splash with LeBron. It really felt out of place. It felt like something that a team in a smaller market needs to do to be relevant and sell tickets. Like you said, you don't need the name. We needed the talent.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we need to make the pieces. Okay, cool. We have a player here that that needs the ball in his hand, so he needs to be able to pass the ball to somebody. So let's get some shooters. We know LeBron is not going to be able to play defense, and offense. It's too much for him to do. So we need to get more defensive stoppers and things like that. So, what do we? Here's the question though: like, if we don't work this year, do we blow up the team again?
Yeah. But that's the way they're designing it. That is Rob Pelinka's plan. 1 year, 2 year deals. He's been doing that since he signed LeBron.
Well, blink your mic on there. Do you think we should blow up the team if we don't
win it all? If we don't win it all, do we blow up the squad, the Lakers squad? Blink your mic if you're on Clubhouse. You have something to say, or go ahead and post your comment online here, and we will go ahead and
go ahead, Crispy.
Yeah, I think certain pieces we definitely make adjustments to, but then there are other pieces like Malik Monk, Carmelo that I really like this season so far that I wouldn't want to get rid of.
So just a couple pieces.
Cool.
But you're willing.
So yeah, so basically we're keeping Malik Monk and Carmelo, but Westbrook is gone in your eyes.
Yeah, Westbrook, I get rid of him in my eyes if we can. But if not, if we have to stick with Russ, I just hope he get better and just focus on certain parts of his game, and developing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. I can't remember how many years he has on his contract.
All right, that's Crispy, right?
Yeah, that was Crispy.
Okay, Crispy. Do the Lakers ever build with their youth? I mean, we're all looking back at the Brandon Ingram, the Julius Randle, the Russell squad. Are the Laker fans, and will LA ever be patient enough to build from youth, or are they always going to essentially sell out for the superstar?
Yeah, we're going to always sell out for the superstar, I believe. Our organization is a win-now organization. We don't really have time to develop. That's what I have seen since I've been a fan, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon.
How do you feel about that? Do you wish they would do a little bit more in-house development?
To be honest, no.
Okay.
I think as Laker fans, we became spoiled, and I'm pretty spoiled at this point.
Okay.
Go ahead, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, what do you think?
Well, technically, Magic and technically Kobe were homegrown. Kobe was drafted, technically, and Magic was drafted. So they just happened to draft the right guys. I mean, they had Kareem, who was like out of the top. They got Kareem, but they got Magic. They got Magic on the draft. They got Kobe in the draft. Technically,
but then again,
the first year.
And they had Shaq too.
Well, they traded.
Well, Shaq was dominant already.
Yeah,
Shaq
he
was
established.
So they
came the same season.
Yeah,
but Shaq was established at Orlando first as a superstar.
But here's the thing, though. See, though, when we talk about that, is like they brought people together. Like these GMs actually were GMs. I think the biggest problem we had here is LeBron is a GM, and LeBron is like, "Hey, Carmelo, do you want?" I mean, and if you listen to that Carmelo interview, he said that LeBron called him and said, "Hey, man, you think it's time? It's time. You want to come and play with me?" And he said, "Yeah, man. Well, you're the GM, man. If you want me to come play with you, then make the call." I mean, Carmelo said that in the interview. So what we have to start doing, I believe, is stop allowing these players to try to put these teams together so where they can play with their friends and have the GMs actually put the teams together. I think that look, that's why Golden State is so successful. That's why that they only had what 2 or 3 mediocre years, and then now they're back.
That was specifically because of injury too.
Right. You know what I mean? So like, look, I think that's where we need to get back.
And
to.
they didn't panic.
Right.
They didn't blow it up. They didn't panic. They just said, okay, well, we'll be back. Everyone will be laughing.
See, because I always felt like, I mean, there were definitely some young kids that we had to get out of here, like D'Angelo, we had to get out of here. I can understand that. But I felt that there was a development curve that we kind of was going through. And if we would have waited those 2 or 3 years, we would have had younger players, less money, and I think we probably would have had a better record than we have right now.
Now, had they waited, wouldn't we have had younger players and LeBron?
Well, LeBron changes the whole dynamic.
I mean, LeBron, would he have come anyways as a free agent? Free agent signing, yes. LeBron, come play with the kids.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
No.
You don't think so, Charles?
No. I mean, people act like we just didn't win in 2020 because AD came here because of LeBron. Of course, we didn't win every year. It doesn't work like that. But at the end of the day, AD came here because of LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, I see that, but I kind of felt, look, and we were talking about, remember Simpson was saying, man, let's wait a year. I think he may come in free agency. I had a feeling that he was going to come in free agency.
You know who screwed that up for us? Paul George. Because Paul George was saying when he that they should have came and got me when I was in Indiana if they wanted me, is what he was saying.
Yes.
And that made them gun shy, and then all of a sudden they're trigger happy to pull the trigger too quick and not be patient. I think that had something to do with it.
Hey, Coach, I saw you blinking your mic. Do you have something to say?
I was going to chime in with LeBron. LeBron would have not waited at all. He would have, if I'm gonna just say this: if you put LeBron on, say, OKC, right?
Yeah,
that franchise will do anything they need to do to put a winning team behind LeBron. So I'm not just saying it's the Lakers. Lakers always had a winning mentality, and especially I grew up watching them. I grew up watching Kobe, so that's what they known for. They known for winning and stuff like that. So with the young pieces and LeBron, maybe it'd be a toss up, but you have LeBron, so you got to do everything in your power to put a winning team behind him.
Yeah, and listen, I agree with that, but I'm a Laker fan. I've been a Laker fan, man, all my life. I think since I was 6 or 7 years old, and I like dynasties. I like a team where we win a championship, then next year we could run it back and win another again. You know what I mean? I like winning back to back, doing three-peats or, always being in that hunt. Mm-hmm. And that's very, especially in this day and age, that's very difficult to do unless you really become a really good GM and you mix kind of old with the new, and you do a perfect blend where it works. I mean, I think if our team is winning and they would have put something together where it was, we have. Now, I'm not saying keep all the young players, right? But look, I love what I loved about Lonzo is I always used to tell people, Chris Paul wasn't Chris Paul till 4 or 5 years into the league.
Mm-hmm. Even when Curry started, everyone said he had glass ankles.
Yeah, Curry wasn't Curry until 4 or 5 years in the league. But you could see it though. You saw what Lonzo could have been and see what he's doing right now. I think we just kind of didn't really.
You want to know what's funny?
What?
Every time we Alonzo, a Brandon, even though a Julius Randle, when we get D'Angelo Russell, when we get rid of these players that are so young, my thought is, okay, let them develop somewhere else, and we'll get them back. Because that's how the Lakers do it, right? If they really do rise and rise to that caliber, the Lakers generally will say, get them back.
They could try.
Yeah, but, they generally can do what they want to do.
But that doesn't really happen. I personally would have tried to keep Randall. I love what Randall did and all.
They gave him away for nothing.
They let him go. Walk. We got Rondo. But then here's the thing, though. We won a championship that year, so.
Oh, you talk. Oh, you said Russell. I was thinking about Randall.
Well, yeah, no. When we got Randall, we got Randall for. That's when we got. We ended up being in the bubble, and
we got Kuz.
Yeah, Kuz and all that. So, but I mean, it's just really hard, man. I just really wish that we. Let me ask you guys.
Was there a flashing mic over there?
Is there a flashing mic?
I thought I saw. All right, maybe not.
Okay, so
It was so cool.
all right. Let me ask you guys this: what player that we've had that with what 3 or 4 years into the league right now do we wish that we would have kept? Blink your mic.
Which one player that we could get back that we traded away, young player that you'd want back that could help this squad? Who is it? Go ahead.
All right,
Money
Coacher. I saw you first.
I can probably say two that can probably come to mind. D'Lo and possibly Julius Randle.
I like Julius Randle.
I love Julius Randle.
Yep.
I think D'Lo had to go. I think I think it was his head. I think it was his maturity.
Yeah, he needed to mature.
Yeah, so
he's done that.
I don't think he would have been able to do that here.
No, I agree.
I think there are certain players that that outside of. I see you shaking. Let me finish my point. I'll get to you. I think there are some players that have to go out of the limelight in order to be able to excel. I think D'Lo was one of them. But I love Randall. I hated we let him go. Shay, you have something to say?
Yeah, I definitely feel like Randall would have helped this season, and also Lonzo Ball.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you could choose one, which one would have been a bigger help this year?
This year, probably Lonzo.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, ball handling.
And go ahead, Sofian.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Sorry. I'm going to tell you guys something that it's really common problem that I have seen. I'm not from America, but I've seen it. Like, it's very common. A lot of young guys can't handle the Hollywood pressure.
Mm-hmm. The bright lights.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes, man.
I agree. We've talked about that quite often.
I feel like that's affecting a lot of the young guys.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think that's why D'Lo had to go somewhere else. To that way he can mature and understand.
Now, what was his name? I'm sorry.
That was Sofian.
Sofian. I have a question for you. That obviously that's a pressure that's put on these young players. Is that pressure just inherent in being on a Lakers team, or is it us? Is it the fans, our impatience that is driving and pushing that pressure?
I feel like it's both. I feel like it's both. Like the spotlights in in LA town is really huge, and it's not just LA, in NY, in New York also. So I feel like a lot of young guys doesn't flourish that like in New York or Lakers or Los Angeles because of the pressure, the spotlight.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Emmanuel. I see.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's the Lakers because you look at the top 10 players in the league. You got 3 players that are Lakers. Shaq got 3, Kobe got 5, Kareem got 5, Magic got 5. So when you look at that, you're a top 10 player like LeBron James or any other player. When you come to LA, you gotta win at least 3 championships. So you ain't done nothing.
Right.
Unless you go to win 3 championships and you're a top 10 player of all time. It's like, any other team, like you go to Miami, win 1 championship, they'll be happy. Oh, you got 1 championship. You go to Cleveland, win 1 championship, that's okay. But when you come to the Lakers, I think Kobe alluded to that, he's like, I don't have to become a Laker. You got to want to be a Laker. Because when you become a Laker, it comes with the pressure of you got to win multiple championships, right? You gotta at least win 3 championships, or you ain't done nothing. So okay, you got 1, you got 2. It's like, so what? It's kind of like the same thing with the Patriots. Like, you expect to win championships now because of what Tom Brady did over there. Same thing with the Lakers. You gotta win multiple championships, or it's not gonna go well for them. So I think that pressure of just playing for the Lakers, that's what it comes with. You're right now you're living off to Kobe, you're living off to Magic and Shaq and Kareem, all time greats, all players. I think Will's a Laker too. He played for the Lakers, won a championship with the Lakers. So it's just the allure of talent that's there,
There's
So,
definitely something to that.
Yeah.
Definitely something to the lights that you either rise and shine or you dim. you burn quickly in the bright lights of LA and Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree, especially in the NBA in general. Like the Lakers and the Celtics. Like you go over there, there's a culture, there's a complete different culture that you are under, and there's a certain understanding that we are expected to win. Like you're just not really allowed just to come and just play like mediocre. We don't accept mediocrity. You know, like that's why the things that we're seeing now, us men, you know, almost 40 games in and we're under 500. You know, this stuff is not tolerated. But if you go to another team, and you know, it's perfectly fine.
Oh, they'd be happy as can be considering one of their superstars is injured. They'd be like, oh man, one of our superstars is injured. We're at 500. It's okay.
Yeah, but we have to find different ways to win. We have to go and you know, run 5 games in a row. Like Shay, you said 5 days.
Yeah, 5-0. We're gonna hold that. We're gonna hold that and keep that as our wish heading into the new year here. Okay, Money Mike. Everybody knows, because everybody watches our show, that we end our show with a segment that we like to call Money Mike's Out of Bounds. Now, Money Mike is going to share his thoughts or opinions on a topic, and what he wants to know is his thoughts or opinions in bounds or out of bounds. Clubhouse, be ready, you guys, because we're definitely going to you. Money Mike, you have the mic.
You know, I actually was struggling with this. I was like, man, what am I going to talk about today? But then, you know, I would have a little off time, and I was laying down. I was watching some football games, and I saw the craziest thing today. I don't know if you heard about it in the NFL. I know Clubhouse, somebody in there has heard about it. I saw the craziest. I saw something I've never ever seen before in my life. I'm watching some highlights or whatever, and I see Antonio Brown getting in an argument or, you know, with the coach, and I see some other players come in over there trying to calm him down. And I saw Antonio Brown take his jersey off, take off his pads, everything. And I mean, in the middle of the game, this dude takes off half his jersey, you know, he goes topless, he takes his gloves, a towel, whatever he had, throws it out, and literally Tom Brady is on the field, and this guy is throwing out the peace sign and said, "I'm gone and I'm out." Like this dude literally quit in the middle of a freaking football game, and when they asked, about it, they said Antonio Brown is no longer on the team. But I'm started thinking about Antonio Brown. I'm like, man, this dude, like, he went to Pittsburgh, you know, and he just acted the fool over there. And then he went to Buffalo, never played, and then we got him because I'm a Raider fan. Uh-huh. He acted a fool over there, you know, and then he went to Tom Brady was vouching for him. He went to the Patriots, and Bill Belichick said, "Nah, dude, you got to go." And then he got him over to Tampa Bay, and now this dude's acting a fool over here, and I'm like, man, look, I don't know if something's wrong with Antonio Brown, but am I out of bounds to say that I never, ever want to see this guy put a football jersey for any team
any professional squad again?
Because I feel that this is a team sport, and Antonio Brown has no respect, none. Everything is always about him. I've never seen somebody so selfish, you know, to the point where it's just detrimental to himself as well as the team,
and then to make a scene about it.
And I never ever want to see Antonio Brown put on another jersey. I don't want any other NFL team, no Canadian Football League team. I never ever want to see Antonio play football again. Am I out of bounds to say I never ever want to see Antonio Brown play football again? Blink your mic if you agree or disagree.
Wait, I was gonna kind of respond to that real quick. I mean, what I heard Bruce Arians told him to get out, and that's why he left. So
okay.
Like it's like it's kind of,
no, okay. The reason why Bruce Arians asked him to get out was because he told him to go in the game. Say, hey man, go in the game, and AB told him no, and he asked him again to go in the game. So if I'm asking you to go and perform for me, you know, and you don't want to do it, then there's no purpose for you. And whatever his decision was at that point, man, I never wanted to see that guy play football again.
So what's your call? Should he play again? Is Money Mike inbounds or out of bounds?
Antonio Brown is like Kyrie Irving. He's just too talented. Like you just live with what he does. Like it's kind of. I wouldn't be surprised if he apologized. They're like.
Would you sign him on your team? Would you sign him if you were the GM for a team, an NFL team? Would you sign him?
I would sign a guy because guy's skilled.
Okay. Like, he's being honest.
Okay. But if he was apologized, I mean, you got Tom Brady, right? And Tom Brady says, because Tom Brady was defending him. Tom Brady said, I want him back. If he goes to apologize the next day, I won't be surprised they let him go play again.
No.
Because the guy is just too talented. I won't be surprised because Tom Brady's running that team right now.
All right, and
Tom Brady says, I want him back. I think he'll take him back. Okay,
Emmanuel, so you disagree with me. Is there anybody else there have an opinion on that? Crispy, what do you think?
Yeah. Okay. So from my understanding, because at first, I thought it was a mental thing, but then somebody broke it down to me, and it kind of made sense. Antonio Brown had, I guess, a certain incentive or a bonus on his contract, where if he got a certain milestone, he was going to get paid $1 million for it. And I'm pretty sure he was pretty close to it when they yanked him out the game. And, next week they wasn't going to play none of the starters like that. So I think that had a big part to play in it as well. So if you're not, if you take money away from my family mouth, I'm going to feel the type of way as well. I don't agree with him leaving his team hanging like that. So I'm kind of with you, Money Mike, on that one.
So let me respond to that real quick, because I got that right. So he did have incentives, right? He had incentives. If he had 8 more catches, he would get $333,000. If he needed 55 receiving yards, he would get another $333,000. If he needed just one more receiving touchdown, you get another $330.
So almost $1 million.
So he would get he would get $1 million. And the way that you do that is actually by going into the game. Right, you go into the game. So when Bruce Arians said, "Hey, go into the game," dude, if you catch a 50-yard touchdown, you just made an extra $600,000. So I'm not using that as an excuse, because, dude, you have to go into the game. This dude refused to
pulled a Scottie Pippen
to perform, so he could get that money that was due to him. So that's why I'm saying that doesn't make any sense, man. But yeah, I appreciate you for agreeing with me.
All right,
Crispy. Anybody else? One more person agree or disagree with me?
Shay's still in there. I'd love to hear what Shay.
Ivan, let me hear you.
Ivan.
I definitely agree with you from a football standpoint. There's a point where you got to be a professional, and there's a point where you're an athlete. So it's just it's weird to see what's going on, no matter what's going on behind the scenes. But you got to act like a professional at the end of the day.
I agree.
Appreciate you guys.
I agree. When you're on a squad, see, there is something to that, to the other players, right? Because they said, I understand the whole, you're uber talented and you'll find a spot on a squad. That's just wrong, because there has to be the other players that are lower down the totem pole, the linemen, they look at that and look, why am I fighting so hard for this a-hole who doesn't really care, who isn't even part of the team and this and that? But maybe that's just a part of the culture. I don't know.
Yeah, but see, that's what I said. When you do things that are like it's one thing like that your team is supposed to always be on the same page and always want to win. And I understand that if you're a superstar, like for example, Michael Jordan, if he had a game in Boston and then there was another game in New York, and he decided he wanted to go to Atlantic City for and not catch the bus, but he's there for the game. He's able to do that because he's going to be there like for the game. I understand that type of preferential treatment and stuff like that. But when you are doing things that is detrimental to, like even with Kyrie, like I got okay, somebody mentioned Kyrie. Listen, Kyrie done said a whole lot of crazy things. Kyrie done said the world was flat and he has different stance on stuff. But even with this whole vaccination thing, he just kind of said, okay, I'm not going to be a distraction to the team. At least at that moment, he's not keeping things on and trying to keep himself in the media. Like this guy literally has done all these particular things and makes things about him I don't think he ever should get a chance. But I appreciate you guys for agreeing with me, and Manuel, I respect your opinion also.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody at Clubhouse, as always. Crispy, Shay, Emmanuel. Please name everybody there. Please name
So we had a pretty good crowd tonight. We had Crispy, Ivan, Shay, Emmanuel, Alante. What's up, homeboy? Culture, and Sophian. Thank you guys for being on the show tonight. You guys made it great for us.
Absolutely. And I'd like to thank Donovan Duncan and Big Baby Jonathan joining us online and commenting, and everybody else watching. We will be back next week. We will be here, as always, every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. We bring it to you live, raw, and uncensored. So be sure to join us. Best way to participate with the show is to go ahead and log on to Clubhouse app and join the Los Angeles Lakers fan club, because that's where you're going to go ahead and be able to take part and get a free t-shirt, take part in some giveaways, and you're really going to be part of the smartest and the best educated basketball Laker fan crowd that's out there is on the Los Angeles Lakers fan club on Clubhouse app. If you're listening on Bashani, thank you very much. And of course, be sure to download the Good News Radio app. That is the Good News Radio Sports app. And you will find them online on the Play Store, Google Play, or the Apple Store. And that is the Good News Radio app. And Money Mike, anything to say before we go out the way?
Hey, we got a couple follows and likes. So I will be, give me a couple hours. I'll send you guys a DM and see when we're going to get that shirt out to you guys.
We'll get some shirts out to you guys. Okay, again, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. We love you so much. We'll be here next week. Till then, have a good one.
Peace.
Profanity
Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.